Hello, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I love to see a packed room. So I love this project because I geek out so hard on circularity. I think it's the coolest thing since sliced bread. And I also love cities. Like, can we talk about Madrid? How beautiful is Madrid? And I'm here to introduce the Cinnovate project, as we lovingly say in Spain, Cinnovate. Makes it sound a little fancier. If you could go to the next slide, please. I work at IE in climate innovation and entrepreneurship, and I have been working very, very closely on this project. It's close to my heart, and it's kind of my baby, as I like to say. Next slide, please. Thank you. So why cities? Our cities consume the most amount of resources. They also generate the most amount of waste and emissions. And the circular economy principles are critical not only for reducing climate change emissions and making a more healthy and sustainable future, but also to create economic resilience and stronger social systems and resource sovereignty. At the same time, we have incredible technical solutions that are on the rise, many of which we will see here today, but we also need the ecosystem and the support and the resources surrounding circular economy in our higher education institutions to build the next generation of entrepreneurs and innovators. That is what the Cinnovate project is all about. We are on a mission to transform higher ed institutions into engines of circular innovation and entrepreneurship. This project is funded by the European Institute of Technology, part of the Higher Ed Institution Initiative, and it is funded by EIT and powered by Climate Kick. Our goal is to make this an interdisciplinary approach. We're bringing together private enterprise, public sector, academia to really work at the forefront of our transition towards a more circular economy. And we have 4 main activities that we're working on to bring this project to life, many of which are active, and we'd love to answer any questions about them after. Our first being capacity building. We are training our students, faculty, and staff at all of our higher ed institutions on circular economy, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We are supporting startups that are working at the forefront of circular economy innovation. We're building new structures focused on things like technology transfer, new incubators and accelerators within our universities. And we are building critical alliances across the EU. Public and private alliances that are all working towards this same goal. We have an amazing consortium, many of which are here today. We have 6 core partners. We have IE University as the leading partner for the Cinnovate project. We have the Architecture Association, where's Nacho, based in London, thank you. We have Nord University, Jacob is also here in Norway. We have LTVK in Lithuania. And we also have 2 amazing business partners, South Summit. Woo, give it up for South Summit. Amazing. And we also have Income, who truly is our saving grace in this project because they handle so much behind the scenes. So thank you to Income as well for all of your support. And we also have some amazing associate partners. We would not be able to do this project without the network of associate partners and advisory board members that we have for the Cinnovate project, like Circle Economy, Poplac, and Comunidad de Madrid, many of which are helping us with expertise and mentorship for all of the programs that we have going on. Now, without further ado, why are we here today? So South Summit, as a core partner of the Cinnovate project, has built an accelerator program for startups working in the circular economy transition. Last year was the very first edition of the accelerator with 5 selected startups. I don't know if we have any here today. I think Arjun, no? Well, shout out to Arjun from S2S Dynamics. He is not only part of this program, but he also is a mentor for many of our programs at IE, including the RICO PGM team, who will be pitching later today. So I think it's been amazing to see the success of this first edition. And now we have 10 new startups that I've had the chance to get to know all of you a little bit, and it's amazing to see what you're doing and actually hear some teaser pitches last night. So I can't wait to see your new pitches. And the next edition of this accelerator will kick off in the fall. So thank you all so much. You can follow the Cinnovate project. We have lots of action going on, so if you want to get involved, please reach out. We're happy to have your support and engagement.
Okay, so for every cyclist you see on the street, there are 6 people who want to ride their bike to work, but are scared. And the many cycling apps that are out there are great for cyclists as athletes, but don't help people get safely with the bike in the city. We are the only app that finds the safest route for cyclists, not the fastest. And we start from the inside that riding on a busy avenue with many cars is unsafe. Riding on the parallel quiet side street is quite safe. But cyclists do not know how to find these safer alternatives. Until now, we use 79 factors derived from research or where cycling accidents happen, and by asking 1,000 cyclists to reduce cycling risk. Then we refined our algorithm with thousands of cyclists actually cycling with it and telling us it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, until it's good. And with every ride, it gets better as we have multiple feedback loops for users to report and show how safe the route was, so we get better every day. We are now 2.1 times safer than default routing, if you follow the route, of course. As a reference, seatbelts reduce injury risk in cars by 1.7 times. And our target are the over 200 million people in Europe who would like to cycle as transport in the city. And the app for us is the engine. So we'll have a freemium tier in 4 months, but the real monetization comes from the data. So we are already selling cycling intelligence to cities with the World Bank in Romania and want to expand that, and to sell the aggregated data from all the cyclists to businesses, because cyclists actually look around and stop if something is interesting. I cycle everywhere, no matter how dangerous. My co-founder is scared to cycle almost everywhere. We are very early, so we stealth-launched 11 days ago on Play Store in Romania. We're from Romania. 3 days ago on Spain. We have the public launch in 2 weeks. We've been bootstrapped so far, and we'll have first investment round at second half of this year. So if you want to join our story and see more bikes in the city instead of more cars, let's talk.
What if clean food was not a premium, but an expectation? And today, it's not only clean food, but it's also clean protein, which is an expectation. It's the baseline. It is not a trend. It is something that our generation expects on every plate from breakfast to dinner. It's a staple. Protein is not only driving the space on our plates, but it's also driving food spending. Gen Z alone is spending 75 euros a week extra on getting protein on their plates. Families can go anywhere from 120 euros to 240, depending on their size. Most of our foods are making a shift, 75% shift towards eco-proteins. And when we say eco-proteins, we mean clean proteins where we know not only is it protein, but where is it coming from and how is it sourced. Universities around the world are tracking the carbon footprint of where and how much time was it spent to get the food on the plates of the students. That's what is the inspiration around Free Simple or Simply Fresh. It's two breakthroughs, one seamless system. We've introduced a absolutely cleaned 21% protein in every 100 grams. It's limitlessly versatile, and it's actually vegetarian. It does not have any rennet in it. And when we make the cheese and we take the whey has multivitamins, it has vitamin 12, it has phosphate, it's really healthy for us. We up-level it to make a functional mango drink, which has 0 added sugar. With our cheese, you can eat it raw, you can grill it, you can make it in a stew, you can fry it, and yes, you can also make desserts from it. It's completely versatile, and its nutrition is not changed. The mango drink is a second revenue stream for us because and it's also reutilizing the whey to have a zero waste product, which is actually nutritional and good for all of us. We launched in January of 2026. In our first 90 days, we've had 20K in revenue. It's both B2B and B2C. We are in 3 premium stores in Madrid. And what's next? We are here to ask for partnerships with universities so that we can bring a diverse offerings to the students. What's in it for them? It advances their sustainability goals, and thank you.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Cardet. I'm the founder and CEO of HeyCharge. 46%, that's almost half of Europe, lives in apartments. And as these people get electric cars, the question is, where will they charge? Our streets can't handle millions of vehicles moving from indoor parking to on-street charging. So the answer is actually pretty clear. The chargers need to move inside the building. But there's a catch. Most apartment buildings have underground parking, and EV chargers today need an internet connection to work reliably. So basically, the product that exists today doesn't work in this environment. That's why HeyCharge built the world's first fully offline EV charging platform. We use our users' own mobile devices, their smartphones, to relay data securely between the charger and the cloud. So the chargers work completely offline. We use single-use cryptographic tokens to provide the security between the cloud and the charger. So we can work fully offline, we can work online, we can work in a hybrid mode, and this means we can work in any environment, any building type, any area, including these underground parking garages. It's working. We have our German charging business with over 130 sites already online, more than 600 chargers, and 2,500 parking spaces pre-wired. We've closed partnerships with some of the largest real estate asset managers in Germany, including Vonovia, who is the largest housing operator in Germany. This one's a great story because they've chosen us as the strategic exclusive technology and platform provider for their 108,000 parking spaces. And so we can only really achieve this if we're giving them a better product at a lower price. We also sell a technology, both white label and turnkey, to charging operators globally. Just a kind of a sampling of our solutions here. We have both what we call our Bridge product, which will retrofit any charger, any market to work on our platform. And in conjunction with our partnership, we have a partnership with Easy. We're launching what we call Magic Box, which is basically the product for B2C single-family homes. You can see here we also have pilots live in 3 countries, in Italy, US, and Chile. All of those with utilities. We're excited to announce that we just received the 2.5 million euro EIC Accelerator grant with the explicit remit to scale this technology to apartment buildings across Europe. And so we're just looking for the private component of the funding. We've already secured 20 million in debt, and we're just looking for a lead investor to take the 6 to 12 million in equity financing for this project. Half of Europe's going to charge at home. HeyCharge is how it'll do it. Let's build it together.
Okay, this may seem like a comic book to you, but Believe me, what's happening in our cities today, it's a real battle. We have to fight against our own destruction. When we first started, my partner and I, Easy Farmer, we met Tatiana. Tatiana is a Colombian immigrant that was helping us clean our offices. All of a sudden, she tells me, Marcos, can you teach me this technology? My head blew. I mean, this is what we were waiting for. We grabbed her, we taught her how to do hydroponics, how to produce microgreens in a mercado in Madrid, and Tatiana is now our first and foremost urban farmer, our superhero Tatiana. We're fighting two major world crises. The first one, more than 25% of us are at risk of social displacement. And then we have the global food chain, where we're fooling with pesticides on our fruits and vegetables, and we're also using all of our fresh water. We need to find a better way. Easy Farmer has an opportunity of reinventing the food markets in the local cities and adapting them so that we have living labs to produce high-end products such as microgreens and mushrooms that our urban farm force can sell in the last mile. Therefore, not using, not spending any time on no pesticides and less water usage. How do we do this? First, we have our urban farmers, or Tatiana, doing the hydroponic units, getting the microwaves ready. Then the app tells her what restaurants to distribute to. Finally, the app bills everybody and distributes the funds to the funds. This is not charity. We charge 500 euros to Tatiana for her shelf and for all the distribution that she does. Finally, we have a minimal viable product working in the Mercado de San Pascual in Madrid. We have 5 urban farmers already distributing fruits and vegetables around the supermarket. And how do we scale this? We have our major competitors are the nonprofit organizations whose main mission is to put people at risk in the labor force. We partner with them. They supply the heroes. We supply the infrastructure and all the ecosystem so that they can produce and have it as a business. I am a software engineer and also an entrepreneur that has been building a lot in the terms of the collaborative economy. I know that helping people is what makes you happy. I want to help you. So please give me a contact, a restaurant, or a nonprofit organization. That's it.
I give you 3 seconds to find everything that is wrong with this road. 2, 1, too late. That's why it was so urgent. Think about Madrid, 5,000 kilometers of roads. It's scary. Not for us. For this task, we need 3 milliseconds because we use AI. We do it with Asfalto Sicuro, a plug-and-play hardware that collects data and images of the road. The system uses up to 3 cameras to analyze the road and sidewalks. Through AI, we detect not just potholes and defects, but everything you can see from a car. With the web app, the city is at your fingertip, having images, surface estimation, and geolocalization of defects. The advantages are reduction up to 80% in inspection time, cost, accident, and compensation. We are different from our competitors because the system works up to 130 kilometers per hour. We are 10 times cheaper than a laser-based solution and more accurate and flexible than a smartphone. We are also incubated by ISABIC in Turin because we use Earth observation data to achieve predictive maintenance of the road. Let's see some use case. In Milan, we analyzed the whole city, 2,000 kilometers of roads and sidewalks. In Bari, we checked the quality control of restorations carried out by maintenance companies. In Las Rosas de Madrid, we mapped 2,500 crosswalks checking architectonical barriers for people with reduced mobility. And in Rome, the full inventory of vertical signs on extra-urban roads. Our business model is flexible. We can provide the measurement service with company vehicles or installation on customers' vehicle already traveling. Our customers are municipalities, corporate, insurance companies, and road maintenance companies. The team has skills in AI, space technologies, and business management. We are now 10 people working full-time. The startup has been founded in 2024. We had traction, partnership, and awards from the very first year. Our market is wherever there is a road, and our goal is to achieve 10 million of revenue in 2028. In a few months, we'll open a round of 1 million to become the European leader in road monitoring through AI. Our vision is to prevent death and serious injuries due to poor road maintenance, supporting the EU Zero Vision 2050. Thank you.
So, good morning, everyone. So, every year, millions of garments are thrown away. Most of them are recyclable. None of them are recycled. And this is not because we lack technology, but because nobody in the chain knows where the data from the garment comes or what it's made of. So this is what we're trying to solve. I'm Sava, and together with my team, we're building the digital backbone for circular economy. So 1 out of 100 garments is recycled today. Only 1. Most of them go to landfills or get incinerated. And it's not because suppliers don't want to sort it correctly, but because they work blindly. They have no verified information about the material composition nor chemical use. They can't make the right decision. When a sorter picks up the t-shirt, he asks 3 questions. What is it made of? Where do I take it? And what are the ERP implications? Today, they can't answer this. Not because the data doesn't exist. It does. It sits in textile mills in Bangladesh, dye houses in Turkey, farms in India. The issue is there's no data capture. There's no data flow between actors, and there's no common structure everyone can trust. So that's where we come in. We're Micellar Data. We're building the first textile data space connecting Asian supply chains with the European market. We're built on EU principles, and we're endorsed by GaiaX. We allow every participant in the supply chain to connect once and share data through interoperable and sovereignty. This is how it works. We onboard suppliers, raw materials, spinning mills, dye houses, brands, all the way to consumers, brands, recyclers, municipalities. And we share them a unified data space. No more audit fatigue. No more working in silos. No more working blindly. For the first time, the entire industry talks the same language and plays by the same rules. But this is not all the way. Circularity works with collaboration, and this requires an infrastructure collaboration, a data space where brands, suppliers, recyclers, manufacturers can share data and act on their own terms. And Spain is the best place to put it to practice. In Spain, you have cotton grown in Andalusia. You have headquarters of the biggest fashion brands as Inditex and Mango. They all exist, but they can't talk to each other anymore. And this is what we're trying to solve. And we're looking for partners that are willing to do the same and try and push circular economy from Spain. So collaboration starts here. Let's give it a go.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ali Hood. I'm here from Recirculate Systems. So we're here to help the financial services industry go from a linear process to a circular one. Right now, if you buy something in one place, you can't return it to another because all of those payment infrastructures work in this linear way. We allow all the payment systems to talk to each other. So what it looks like and what you might think we are from this pitch is some sort of cup deposit return system. We're not. We're the software that underpins the whole system. So let's look at our market. Right now, we've got the PPWR coming into play in 2030. That says that 10% of all takeaway transactions by 2030 have to feature some kind of reusable element. That's 5 billion coffee cups. Just the EU, just cups, just coffee cups. 5 billion transactions. So I felt this pain. I was a coffee operator, for example, tried using the current systems that are in place. They rely on apps. That causes friction, and only about 3% of people to use them. With our system, there is zero behavior change for either the customer or the barista or whoever in the system. So we break that ceiling. This is how it works. I'll just rattle through this because I haven't got long. A customer buys, say, a coffee as they usually do. A small deposit is added to it. That is it. Our system attaches that unique transaction to that unique container that has an RFID tag or QR code, whatever. When that customer finishes their drink, they can take it back to anywhere that's participating and instantly get a refund in their pocket. No behavior change. So one of the reasons why we're getting some significant traction is that these payments providers love us. We've turned a £4 coffee into a £5 transaction. So now people like Dojo we're partnering with to scale our product across their entire customer base. So right now we're going after the closed loops where we can just solve that very quickly, and we've got some big enterprise customers coming up. But secondly is that open loop where we want to work with those current reuse networks. We're just their software so that we can tackle the entire more broad economy. So we've got that enterprise validation. If you go to Heathrow Airport and fly from Terminal 2 in September, you won't be able to buy anything in a single-use cup. All of the brands will be using our software to power their reusable systems. We've just been through the JP Morgan Chase Accelerator, which has given us that access to all those payment providers at that very high level, and been nominated for the Earthshot Prize. So I'm glad I've got to this one, but all systems eventually converge on a protocol. Much like Visa and MasterCard or the internet, it could have been a different protocol. That's what we're aiming to be for the circular economy. So the team driving the revolution, that's me, and Andrew's managing the actual company. But Shane Lake was an early investor. He sold Hungry House to Just Eat for $200 million, and this is his first investment in 15 years. So we're raising £400,000 at £20 a share. Unfortunately, there's only £100,000 left of that. This is me launching the raise, but our existing investors have already gobbled it all up.
Nice to meet you. So I'm Claudio. As the name might imply, you might have guessed I'm Italian, but also German. And I was born in France, and you know the name of my French name is Claude. But I'm not an AI, even though I speak 9 languages fluently. I'm glad to be here back in Spain. I lived 6 years in Barcelona. I love this country. And I'm also very happy as well that we got supported by the EIT, for which I worked 5 years before starting Ridergy. One thing I'm deeply really caring about is that we don't run into blackouts. That can be at a big scale, like it happened in Spain, and it's happening day to day in many countries around the world. We're lucky in Europe that it doesn't happen so often. Just think about Cuba right now. And it doesn't only happen at a global scale or at a country scale, it also happens sometimes in a micro scale. So homes, like the solution we just saw from Chris, they really need to work, otherwise we will run into local blackouts, and charging, for example, electric vehicles will not work. So that's one of the big problems that we address. Limited capacity of cables and not unlimited amount of power. Think about data centers right now. We're already seeing a lot of protests due to limited capacity of cabling. So that's one of the big challenges. And it's already costing us a lot of billions that we're not managing to consume the energy when it's being produced. And this is also the big opportunity that is displayed in renewable energies. So we see time of use of energy is also correlated with the amount of renewables in the grid. When there's a lot of wind and sun, prices are cheap. And when it's expensive, it's when there's no renewables. So there's the opportunity to consume energy when it's cheap and also use the batteries inside of electric vehicles, for example, when it's expensive and sell back to the grid. Now let's talk a real customer that we have, Audi. At their sites, they had the same issue I was talking about earlier. Limited electrical installation and increasing costs with electric vehicles for their employees coming to work. You can see here the sites. It's 150 parking lots. If you want to control charging, though, it's not straightforward. You require a software that is managing the process, limiting power, increasing power, based on a lot of data streams, and integrated into chargers, into vehicle systems, and local other loads that you might have, energy tariffs, etc. It needs to do and work seamlessly. That's what we have built, an app that basically gives not only an overview, but the magic lies behind and under the hood. We have a lot of data integrations and AI that learns with time. We not only can work with the big corporates of the likes of Audi, think of logistics companies, vans, trucks, buses, and small companies as well. You run into issues already with one vehicle. The SaaS model we have basically allows us to generate revenue on a monthly basis, and we generate savings. We have an ideal team composed of entrepreneurs experience, software, and AI engineering skills.
Cool. On? All good. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Pierre Benouri. I'm very happy to be here today to talk to you about what we do at Solac and how we create a sustainable and scalable source of water security anywhere in the world. So, water. What many of us take for granted is still one of the world's greatest challenges. Far too many people still lack access to safe drinking water. And in too many places, people are still forced to transport water in bottles or in trucks from A to B over great distances, which can be expensive, unreliable, simply unsafe to drink in many cases. But fortunately, there is water all around us in the air we breathe. And at Solac, we develop technology to make use of this enormous potential. So our air-to-water systems extract water from the air, can do this practically anywhere in the world without the need of existing infrastructure, and are energy source flexible, grid, solar, waste heat from industry. What you see here in this render is a unit that has a production capacity of 2,000 liters of water per day, every single day, independent of climate. And I'll get to that in a second, because first we need to understand that globally today, most conventional atmospheric water generation technology uses electricity to create a cold surface on which water condenses. This requires a lot of electrical input, and it functions only at optimal high humidities. At Solac, we innovate with a new process called liquid desiccation, where we use a liquid. Well, it's a process that basically allows us to use thermal energy rather than electricity and work at low humidities as well. How does it work? It's a two-step process. So first, our absorbers absorb water from the air into a liquid. That liquid is then sent to the regenerator that uses heat to boil and separate the water out of it, thereby distillation and producing pure distilled water. And now by decoupling these two processes, we're able to scale the number of absorbers up or down depending on the climate to always match the regenerator and provide a fixed amount of water every single day, year-round, and thereby water security. This is the first prototype that was successfully demonstrated in the semi-arid northeast of Brazil, producing 200 liters per day. We've come a long way since then. This is our workshop in Amsterdam, where you see one of our modular absorbers in the forefront and the regenerator part in the background that will be containerized. Now, unfortunately, there are many places and target use cases around the world where we can create a positive impact. We're focusing on Brazil and Mexico, where millions of people still do not have access to drinking water, and industries are facing growing water stress challenges. That being said, we have over 3 contracts signed, deploying next year and the years after that, starting actually with a first pilot right here in Madrid with a large corporate, followed by iterations with a bottling company in Mexico and state government in Brazil. So thank you for your time. I'm here at South Summit looking for corporates, governments, everyone who needs operational resilience, water problems, ESG projects, CSR, and of course funding.
Do you know that your waste could be a renewable energy? Oh, sorry. Actually, there are problems in the biogas factories because the biogas generation lost due to the loss of the microorganisms specific for the biogas production. This loss of the microorganisms specific for the biogas production cause a high cost on the biofactories for the biogas. Then, Bemprala have a solution because we develop a CNO product. That CNO product is a specific microorganism for the biogas production because this specific microorganism hide the methane percent. CNO is a specific product for the self-consumption and also bring a quality or in your biodigester. CNO also is property of Bemprala because we have a IP. How apply the CNO product? It's easy for use because you only have to open your product. This is an example for a CNO, and you add your microorganisms in your biodigester, and in around 3 days you can see the increment or the percent of methane. CNO don't cause any alteration in your biofactories. And also, do you have to change any technology in your factory because only have microorganisms, and you can only have to apply the microorganisms on the biodigester. I would like to explain something about Vempralab. Vempralab is a startup dedicated to improve the biogas production in the biodigester. And now we have a multiple collaboration in the national and international companies. For example, in United Kingdom, in Latin, and here in Spain. Also, we produce multiple papers in relation with the increment of the percent of the methane. And in the future, I would like to expand membrane company in the India and South Africa. And this is all. If you have any question, don't hesitate in contact with us.
Okay, take two. Sorry about that interruption earlier. Yes, let's just give another round of applause for all of the Cinnovate startups. Congratulations, amazing pitches, and you all are doing really, really impressive work. I am going to briefly introduce this next section. We are almost at the end of this panel, this section, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the IE Climate Tech Lab. So we know that there are promising technologies that are being developed in universities, in research and technology organizations all over the world that are solving key climate problems. But we also know that these technologies often stall in the lab without ever reaching customers, paying clients, or private funding. We also know that student entrepreneurs have immense amount of potential to be building ventures, learning how to be climate tech entrepreneurs, and bringing these technologies to market. That is why we have built the Climate Tech Lab at IE. There are programs all around the world, ours being one of them, that are connecting entrepreneurs to deep tech. And this is solving core problems in what we like to call the Valley of Death across three main areas. Researchers are gaining market insight. Students are gaining real-world venture building experience with climate technologies. And both institutions can gain stronger commercialization pathways for these technologies. The IE Climate Tech Lab is where we are teaching the next generation of climate entrepreneurs, giving them the space to be building new ventures and commercialization plans for deep technologies, and connecting them to the overall ecosystem of investors, public and private institutions. Our first edition wrapped up in March of 2026. We had 9 teams working across 6 climate and circularity technologies. They participated in 10 master classes with several coaching and mentorship sessions with technical mentors and business mentors, all working towards the same goal of building strong venture theses for real-world technologies. This is also an innovative approach to thinking about how to bridge technologies and entrepreneurs. Our first edition was in partnership with Technalia. Many of you may know them. They're out of Basque Country here in Spain, a research and tech organization. And this was a new approach to think about how can we give our students access to real-world technologies through a partnership model. And it's very disruptive, and we're excited to see where this goes. We had 6 projects participating in the first edition. 2 sourced from IE, focused on bioengineered spider silk and biochar, and 4 coming from Technalia's labs: carbon membranes, advanced textile recycling, platinum group metal recycling, and space photovoltaic arrays. Our winning team, they're here today, you'll meet them shortly. They actually got to go to the Technalia state-of-the-art labs to tour their electrolysis labs, waste valorization, and carbon membranes. It was very cool, we got to wear lab coats. And we are very excited to be sourcing new partners for the next edition. So if you are interested in collaborating with the Climate Tech Lab at IE, please reach out. And we are looking for projects focused on food and agriculture, circular economy in cities, clean tech and the energy transition, and AI and data. I think we've almost gone through my whole presentation without using the word AI, but here we are. Welcome to 2026. So without further ado, I'm so excited to introduce this team because actually prior to us even announcing the Climate Tech Lab at IE, this team approached me and said, hey, we want to work on a battery recycling company. Like, can you help us with this? I was like, just you wait, my friends. And they worked so incredibly hard during this lab, and they are still working hard. They're actually taking this technology into the IE Startup Lab. So I will let them tell you their story. This is going to be a 5-minute presentation, no Q&A. However, if you have any questions after the fact, they will be around.
So this is a catalytic converter, and there's one in the bottom of every single gas-powered vehicle on Earth. But right now, none of this material is being recycled. So we are Recovery PGM, and we are looking to recycle all the platinum group metals that are inside of catalytic converters. That is because right now there's 3.6 million gas-powered vehicles on Earth walking around with about 250 euros worth of PGMs in them. The reason we only recycle about 50% of them is that the current recycling process in Spain and in Europe is very inefficient. We are using pyrometallurgy to recycle this using high energy cost at about 12,000 degrees Celsius. So the reason for this is that the current recycling landscape is very complex. So I'm going to walk you through the 4 major groups here that are part of the recycling process. First, you have the collectors. These go around all of the areas in the world, just collecting all the used up catalytic converters. They go ahead and crush that material, make it into a silica powder that then they go ahead and ship to the processors. These processors then use that pyrometallurgy to melt that silica material into a black sludge. This black sludge then gets sent over to the smelters. The smelters take that black sludge, process it into a more refined metal that then finally gets sent to the refineries, who then turn this material fully into virgin materials that goes back into the supply chain. So what we're doing with the use of some technology from Technalia is we're using solvent metallurgy and electroleaching to bridge this gap and reduce the need for high energy cost. So what we're doing is we're replacing the processors with this new technology where we can actually do the first step in the supply chain at the collectors. So the collectors will be able to run this process because they will only need about 120 degrees Celsius, and this will be able to be done using electricity. So what this allows us to do is decentralize the whole supply chain. You no longer will need to ship this material across the world to get processed. You will be able to have small plants at each of the specific collectors around the world, and you will be able to do the first step in the process. That will allow us to then ship it to the processors at a much denser concentration, way more efficient. So I'll let Ethan talk about the benefits of that.
Yeah, thanks, Camilo. So this process attacks costs in like 4 main areas. So the first, which Camilo mentioned, is energy efficiency. So we're looking at a 10x reduction in total temperature that's required for this process, which it can also be powered by renewable energy as opposed to really dirty smelting as it is right now. So this represents, roughly like €1.65 in savings. The next is recyclable solvent materials. So these deep butyric solvents can be used 7 to 10 times, which increases the potency and also represents a savings off the inputs to the end smelting process right now. The third is non-toxic byproducts. So currently, smelting is incredibly dirty. The refining process uses a lot of really toxic chemicals. Ours produces inert ceramic material and basically some like inert liquids. So this also represents a massive savings in compliance. And then the fourth kind of like hidden savings is actually just in logistical streamlining. So the process itself produces a more condensed version of the end product. So you have to ship less. So this represents like a funny savings of 2 to 3 kilo. And if we look at just the regional partners in Spain, this represents 10 mil in annual process savings. So Our target markets and target partners are one, like the installation partners. These are basically scrap yards. The two are the EU primary buyers. So these are the current producers of raw material, which we can help levelize their supply chain. And the last is the closed loop industrial sector, which also uses PGMs. So our business model is really bridging the spread. So currently the market average is 3.8 per kilogram, and our cost efficiency, we estimate roughly we can do this at 3.5 per kilogram. Higher value, lower price point. So this is the team. We have an interesting background, the two of us, myself at materials startups and in the energy space, Camillo in the software and technology space. We're hungry. Camillo's an engineer as well, so he has that edge. And our next two steps that we really want is we want to secure offtake validation. So we want to validate the end product first before we fully go to market, and then we want to finalize our site partnerships. So looking forward to talking more about that, and we'll take some questions.